So just wait. So wait to the end, okay? So what Q's talking about is LLCs. So my thing has always been, how do we find people's problems? So I heard that years ago, somebody say, people with problems, property with problems. If you find property with problems, you're going to find people. And 9 times out of 10, if you find people with problems, you'll find properties. And what do I mean by that? Because sometimes people say, well, it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. So people with problems is people who lose their jobs, they get sick, they get divorced, they're going through some shit. Property with problems is code violations, tax delinquent, tax foreclosures, mortgage foreclosures, abandoned. See? So you're going to find one or the other, right? And so my biggest thing was always, how do we cut through all the noise? And how we do that is this. We look up, now I like tax foreclosures, but we're not going to talk about tax foreclosures right now. That's the obvious. They're getting foreclosed. So my next best thing is tax delinquent, right? Because they're behind on taxes. We filter that down to, let's say they've been behind 3 years or more. And you pair that, ready? You pair that with an estate, a state of. What do I mean by that? If you look up the property and it says a state of, somebody's dead, guys. So they're behind on taxes, let's say 3 years or more. Somebody's dead, and if you look at the CAD, or if you're in San Antonio, we call it the CAD. But what I'm getting at is any county. If you look at the county appraisal district, and it says a state of more than a year, more than 2 years, the longer the better. So tax delinquent, a state of, somebody's dead, behind on taxes. What do these two things tell me? One, somebody's not paid the taxes. That's obvious. Two, somebody hasn't fixed the estate. Why not? Either somebody's lost, or somebody doesn't know, or somebody don't give a damn. You guys get it? Now, if you pair that, ready? Because that's good enough already. But if you pair that by looking up the list pendants, the list pendants is a notice to a lawsuit. What lawsuit? Well, like in Texas, if you're going to get foreclosed on taxes, a judge has to rule on this. So that means the county or one of the entities that collects on taxes has filed against you, or has filed on the property, and so now recorded as a list pendants to let the world know there's a lawsuit involved. So not only now are we tax delinquent, we found somebody that's in a state that hasn't been fixed, and now we saw the list pendants. That means that tax delinquent, it's getting bad for somebody, guys. So let me explain it to you. Let's say you're out there committing crime, you're getting some misdemeanors, you're behind on taxes. But now you get a list pendants, which is the notice of the lawsuit. Now you got indicted. And when you get foreclosed, that's when you go to jail. I'm giving you an analogy of what we're talking about here. So if you stack those three things, you're going to find properties that are behind the state, and there's a lawsuit. Perfect. And what we were noticing when we were doing this years ago was that LLCs would pop up. We're like, damn, there's a lot of LLCs getting foreclosed, right? There's a lot of LLCs, and we would find, not necessarily, guys, pay attention, we were looking for estates, but when we're going to look up the list pendants, we're seeing LLCs. And we're like, man, there's a lot of LLCs that have list pendants on them, which there are lawsuits. And then we started to look up the tax foreclosures. We started to see the LLCs, who were like, damn, why all these LLCs getting foreclosed? They have properties. So we, after years and years of looking at this stuff, and we developed a way of how to secure these properties. So we figured out right away that an inactive LLC cannot contract. So if the LLC is inactive in the state of Texas, it cannot contract. Okay. And then what we figured out was they can't even contract with the county to set up payments because the LLC is inactive. So we set out to find these owners of these LLCs. Some people are dead. Some people don't want to be found. Some people went out of business. Some people got sick. And what we did is we started to approach these individuals about buying the property before it got foreclosed. Okay. But how do we do this if they cannot contract? If they cannot contract, what we figured out through our attorneys is we could buy the LLC. And if we bought the LLC, now we have another problem. We have to reinstate the LLC. That means you got to deal with the comptroller and you got to deal with the Secretary of State. So that's a whole other dimension to this, guys. But what I'm getting at, by just looking up the right type of leads and putting in the right amount of work, right? Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it takes a minute. You could find properties nobody else is looking for. So, for example, the deal that Quentin is talking about, which is the biggest deal we did for an LLC that was getting foreclosed, we made $165,000 on that deal. It was in Monte Vista here in San Antonio, which is a posh area. It's the old money area, and it was a beautiful thing. It took us 6 months. The lady called us the day before foreclosure. I remember it was a Sweet 16 here in San Antonio that they were playing here. And I remember we texted our attorney. It was like 8 o'clock at night. He was fucked up. And I was like, hey, sober the fuck up. We got a property in Monte Vista, which is the only time I've ever done a property in Monte Vista. And I'm going to give you 5%. We did, man, it was crazy. I won't go into it because it takes too long. What I'm trying to tell you is that 45 days later, we made $165,000 by just finding an LLC that was going into foreclosure because they hadn't paid taxes. And how did we do that? Because we were looking for properties that were tax delinquent, that nobody was looking at because somebody was dead. They couldn't find somebody that was dead. And we were looking for list pendants. And in doing that, we figured out, hey, there's a lot of LLCs here getting foreclosed too. What's up with those? And then we figured out how to get those deals. That's what we used to call an LLC capture, but I've changed the name to an LLC acquisition control deal. Why? Here it is, guys.
That one. Start with that one. Right.
The reason that I changed the name is because we're fixing to launch at Wholesaling Live a school for this with an AI that will allow you to do that work and that research much faster.
Come on, bro. That's just wild, dude. That is wild.
Yeah, I know, guys. If you guys don't know this, if you've been wholesaling or you've been sub twos or doing all this stuff, I'm gonna tell you something, man. The being able to go after partial interest deals or LLCs that are getting foreclosed, I think it's the next fad, the next thing coming, the next wave coming, because there's so many people now that are just doing regular wholesaling that it's really just saturated the market. The next evolution, the next step is to go after the stuff that nobody else can get done. And if you learn that those strategies and you learn how to find those deals, you learn how to do those deals, you can do very, very well. I'll give you an example. Do you mind if I show HUD?
Go ahead, bro. Run it.
Let me show you guys something real quick. Hold on. Because you guys need to get excited, man. I don't see no excited people here right now. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Let me show you something. So I just got this today. I'm going to show you real quick. Can I share my screen?
Yes.
Check this out, guys. We're fixing to close this right here. Look, 926. It's fixing to close. Look at that. Boom. 60 G's. See that? That's what we're going to make on this deal. 60,000 home sale. And that, I just got that HUD. 926 is going to close on 926, guys. Why am I showing you this? The reason I'm showing you this, how did we find that deal? Okay. We found that deal. It's a little bit different. We found that deal by looking up divorces and pairing them with bankruptcy. So we looked up divorce lists, right? Somebody's got divorced. That's a good list by itself. We looked up bankruptcies, right? Because we're finding people, because people, when they file a Chapter 13, guys, they file a Chapter 13 because they're trying to save the house. They're trying to keep the house 9 times out of 10. But then when you look up dismissed bankruptcies, 9 times out of 10, they don't go through the bankruptcy. So they're back to foreclosure. So what we do is we look up divorces, pair it with bankruptcy, dismissed bankruptcies, put it together, boom. We just found somebody that got divorced, went through bankruptcy, they got problems. On that deal, guys, it's so beautiful because as I just showed you the HUD, it's gonna make 60 G's, guys. 60 G's. Really easy deal. Who's excited about that? I am.
Bro, it's honestly insane. Like that right there is just so, guys, this is what knowing the business actually does. Like really. And it's multiple investment strategies. And that's the reality of it. And that's why I love the diversification of this, guys. Like, come on. Did this not blow everybody's mind? Drop a fire emoji in the comment section. Come on. It's crazy to see it, dude. Like, I love it, man. And it's cool that this is still very relevant, guys. I went from doing, like, I used to do big time wholesale. Like, me and Charles, we both owned giant wholesale brokerage businesses before, where the main strategy was to acquire as many properties as possible. Now, the reason why Charles's business did a lot in volume, and it was something that we started to adopt when I first got in the game and I opened up my first office, this was back in 2017. I was taught the pump and dump method. We dump about $15,000, $20,000 into marketing. We pull the majority of our records into, from the county, and then we skip trace them, send direct mail, text messages. We cold call. At the time, things were less regulated, so we were pumping leads like crazy and acquiring a lot of wholesale deals. Problem with this is that the majority of the deals that we had, although they were $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 assignment fees, let me tell y'all something. Wish I would have knew how to keep them. And that's when we started figuring things out. At this point, I was like, man, I got to stop working backwards. First time I ever started learning about subject to was coming to an HBHS RIA. And I started learning about the events and learning more about creative finance. After I met Charles, I started going all in on sub twos. And not only did he help me out, Charles, you helped me make $146,000 on one real estate deal. You
I
didn't ask me
remember.
for a penny either. You just gave me advice. I came into your office. I mean, obviously we've helped each other in a lot of ways behind the scenes, but I'm saying like this was a real deal, guys. So you mind if I give a case study on something I learned from you real quick?
Yeah.
So guys, Charles helped me out with a solid $156,000 deal. And it was, I mean, I tell you what, when I posted on the internet, people were like, "What? Like, dude, oh my God, assignment fee, what? Crazy, right?" So this is what we did. And so like I had the property under contract, and I'm gonna give you guys the backstory. A friend of mine that I went to school with used to gouge his pizza in ranch. His name was Andrew. I love him to death. He's still a good friend of mine. We've been homies since we were kids, right? And I always known this guy to just drown his pizza in ranch. Never thought that I'd ever make money because of a lead that he gave me, let alone it be over a six-figure deal. So Andrew has since settled down, worked in the oil field, told me about a house across the street where his neighbor had died, and the two elderly people that lived there were his parents. Turns out the gentleman who passed away was gay, is what it is, right? But he didn't have any children. And so the way it works is it reverts back to the next of kin, which would have been his parents, and he was adopted, right? So I went over there, put the property under contract. They wanted 50 grand. House was worth about maybe 223, $240,000. It was in a really good area. Now the house needed a lot of work, probably about 40, $50,000 in work. So I went over there, talked to the elderly couple, put that property under contract for 50, put it to a title company. When I got the title company paperwork back, this is where most wholesalers die. Okay. This is where I felt like, man, I had already assigned the deal. It was a $20,000 assignment fee. I was going to be one and done, man. How many of you guys would rather make 150 grand in 3 months or $20,000 in 1 month? Come on. I'm pretty sure there's a show of hands here. Drop a one if you would have rather made $150,000 in 3 months. Not only that, but passive income. Not only that, but making money from a lawsuit, even like there's so many ways that I milk this deal, and so there are a few things that were messing this deal up. And I'm going to blow y'all's minds here. Y'all are into creative real estate. This is what cheat code calls are all about. But I put the property under contract. When I got the HUD back, I was stumped, right? Turns out there was never an affidavit of heirship or any type of probate filing proceedings that were initiated by a judge or finalized by a judge within probate court for this property. On top of that, there was a memorandum of contract. Somebody else had already had the property under contract, and it was somebody from Homevestors. You guys ever see the We Buy Ugly Houses? So that's a franchise. People buy into that brand and then they go off and they do the real estate world, whatever it is that they're trying to do. So, not knocking it, but they were franchise owners, and apparently they didn't been buying houses in San Antonio for over 20 years. So I'm talking to this guy and I'm trying to figure out, okay, so what can I do? On top of that, my seller is on medical benefits. She's receiving medical benefits as an elderly woman. She's on dialysis. If she makes any more than $5,000, the government's going to take her benefits away. And so at this point, I'm just like, man, okay, there's someone else that put the property under contract. There's debt that's associated with the house that I got to take care of. There's an affidavit of heirship that I'm going to have to file to initiate the probate process. And then there's also this memorandum from this previous buyer. So I'm just thinking like, okay, you know what? I'm going to call the guy. I called the guy. He basically told me to go screw myself, said he's going to buy that house and that there's nothing I can do about it. Hung up on me, tried calling back. He passed the phone to his wife. His wife was really nice. And then she started getting nippy with me. And then she told me to go screw myself. She told me to go myself. And that was it. Right. And so at that point, I was like, okay. She was like, you know what? If you want this house, sue us. So I didn't know what to do. I really didn't know what to do. So I walked into Charles's office and Charles was telling me, it's like, Q, if you got this deal right here, this is so many ways that you could take it down. Because I was thinking, okay, so like my seller, she can't make all that money up front, but she can make less than 5,000 and that won't affect her medical benefits. So what we decided to do was offer seller finance. And so I got them to agree to terms, but I really didn't know what I was doing. And so, I got them to agree to terms. It was $50,000 cash price, $4,500 down, $500 a month for many years until $50,000 is fulfilled. 0%
Q,
interest. 0%.
Quentin, can you repeat that for them and just go a little slower so they can get what you're talking about?
Of
That
course.
the last part.
So when I first presented it to Charles, I had already got the sellers to agree to terms. Because again, my seller would lose her medical benefits if I bought the house outright. So how can she sell me that piece of real estate without ruining her benefits? Well, seller finance was the answer, something I had learned in a seminar at Charles's event. So I went over there, told Charles about it. I said, hey man, I got the seller to agree to something. I said I got them to agree to $55,000 purchase price, $4,500 down, $500 a month, 0% interest. First thing Charles said, his eyes got big. He said, oh, hey, bro, that's a free house, right? And I said, what do you mean? Because he was like, well, let me tell you something, dude. That is a free house because you have the terms so crazy. You can do anything you want with that property and milk it at this point. Now, mind you, at the time, I didn't really know. I had no idea what I had gotten my hands on. And so on top of this was the second kicker. I had came into an agreement with the seller that we would do the seller finance deal if they sold me the property outright, but we put the debt that they were giving me, the seller finance note, to a different property that I own downtown. So I own a lot in Dignowity Hill. It's honestly a crappy lot. I bought it years ago. I don't even think you can build anything on it. I actually put the deed of trust and the terms and conditions of this property, me paying off that debt, on that property, which means that I would own this house free and clear. It's an idea that I got from Charles, which was super cool, right? And so, guys, this is how it worked. First and foremost, Charles put me in contact with one of the best attorneys I've ever worked with here in San Antonio, Texas. And he helped me out with initiating what's called a suit to quiet title to remove the invalid lien that was put against the house. So my sellers who put a memorandum against the property, I needed to lift that lien to get clear title anyway. So I had to sue them to remove the lien from the property. While I was doing that, Charles had also told me be best for me to just buy it and close on it outside of a title company because the title company wouldn't close it. Now, this again is a big risk for most people because you're buying a house without title insurance. But there were only three things that were messing up the property in period that anybody can handle outside of a title company. I'm not advising you guys to do business outside of a title company. Title companies are insurance and you need insurance to do deals. But I did this one outside of a title company because I was willing to take on the risk. Right? Worst case scenario, what? I'm stuck with the house? Great. I got insane terms on it? Great. And so this is what happened. I did a suit to quiet title. Well, first I closed on it in my attorney's office. They signed the deed over to me. I did an affidavit of heirship. We can't do quick claim deed here in Texas. They don't let you do it. It has to be general warranty deed. So again, I did the affidavit of heirship, put my heirs in title, the two elderly people. They sold the property to me, seller finance. We put the note and deed of trust into another asset that I own downtown where I would pay that off, which means I own this house outright, free and clear. Okay. So I now own a house, no money. Like there's no debt attached to it. There's no lien that I have to settle. I just have this debt that I've been paying off over the last couple of years. $500 a month is nothing to me when I'm making 150 grand up front. And so when I'm thinking about this, right, I had to sue this person. So I bought the property, closed on it, moved the family to their second vacation home that they own in Castroville, about 35 minutes outside of San Antonio. And I went to work on it. I borrowed $20,000 to make it rent ready. Threw a tenant in there while in the middle of a lawsuit. I am renting the property, making $1,600 a month in passive income. $1,600 a month. I made that for 4 months straight. I rented it while I owned it, while I was suing somebody over ownership of it. 3 months went by. They realized that they didn't have a case. Bro, I got their memorandum lifted. Their attorney advised them to sign off on the memorandum and release it from the property, which they try to air me out on social media about it. But hey, it's not my fault they don't know how to do real estate, right? And it's not my fault I got an amazing mentor named Charles who's been doing this twice the time frame that they've been doing it. So when I look at that, this was just an easy fix for me. Now, once I had the memo released from the house, that was it. I took it to a title company, got clear title, no memo, debt is associated with another property, own a property outright now, 150 G's. So, guys, I decided that I would sell it on the market with a tenant inside of it. After paying off some of the people that lent me money to make this whole thing happen and paying off my attorney who was willing to do all of this pro bono in exchange for a percentage of the deal itself, man, yeah, my take home was $156,000 net to me. And that's how the cookie crumbles. Come on, man. Tell me you guys got something from that, right? I would have made just 20 grand on that deal had I not taken it to Charles and Charles not giving me all of this advice on how I could have really maximized my time and profit margins on something that I didn't even think was ever going to get to the closing table, right? And so, yeah, my attorney waited to get paid out of closing. When we closed on this deal, I slid my attorney a fat check. And mind y'all, I play video games with that guy still. Me and this dude, his name's Nate. Me and Nate, we play video games all the time. We play Warzone. I talk to him every other day. Nate has helped me out with so many real estate deals that are just like this throughout my time frame, and I've learned so much from him. Now, mind you, I take everybody's advice, whether they work from a title company or they work as an attorney, with a grain of salt. You know why? Is because a lot of these people that have these licenses that are working at these title companies, they're not real estate investors, bro. You know what I'm saying? So their opinion is indoctrinated within what they know, not what they do. You get what I'm saying? And so when I find somebody who's at a title company and they're advising me to do XYZ, I always try to think, okay, well, what is the risks associated with it? And Charles taught me that sometimes you got to think outside the box of what an attorney will tell you and what a title company will tell you to get a deal done. Because real estate's just paperwork, y'all. And if you can master the paperwork, you can control any house, period. Any house, period. That deal, I used like 5 different strategies, y'all. I did creative finance. I did a sub two because I bought it with a memorandum attached to it. So that's subject to the lien. I bought it in abstract title, meaning that I did not have clear title when I purchased it. I rented it. I renovated it. I did BRRRR. And then when I was renting it, I was suing somebody and then I sold it and I flipped it. That's 6 strategies in one. 6 strategies. You see what I'm saying? And so, guys, when you think about real estate, a lot of you guys that might be on this call, you might be stumped because maybe you're thinking this is just volume based. Maybe you're thinking like, oh man, I just got to find more properties. I'll tell you what, dude, the reason why Charles and I are able to do deals, even if they're less than what we used to do, but with bigger spreads, is because we take on these types of properties that have these specific issues that we can figure out. Right. And so again, the business is 80% skill set, 20% what you can actually do on the court. And those who understand that, they make it big in this business. So man, I truthfully believe that the main thing that holds people back, especially those who join my cheat code calls, is a lack of investment strategy knowledge. Because dude, I mean, come on, how many times we got to skin a cat? There's like 20 ways to do that, right? So for us, the way that we look at deals is like, what hat fits this one? What hat fits this one? How can we continue to provide solutions to the people that we're talking to? So essentially, the individual is getting their problem solved, still getting what they want, while we're still getting a deal out of it. Man, so like knowing how to do subject to wraparound mortgages, lease options. I'm talking about creative finance. I'm talking about flipping. I'm talking about specific terms and conditions per real estate deals, LLC acquisition, sub two, death two. Death two is something I learned from Charles too, which I'm sure he's going to get into. But I wanted to give you guys a real case study on a deal that I had closed that honestly changed my life. That was the second biggest deal that I've ever done in my real estate career. First one being total luck. I made $386,000 on a 20-unit apartment complex, not even 2 years into the business, right? But the second one came pure skill. And after that, it started to get like real consistent. But yeah, man, Charles, guys, I hope y'all got value from that. I mean, that's something, right? Come on.
So, that's if I remember correctly on that one, that's where you walk the debt to that lot, right?
Yes, correct. I did.
Guys, if you didn't catch that, so that's a real advanced strategy, guys. So for example, you know, we use that a lot when, okay, I'm doing a deal where I'm going to get terms, and I don't really like to ask people for terms, right? Because most people are like, no, I want my money right now. But what I say to them is, look, I can't pay you the money that you want right now up front because property needs work and there's a lot of debt, but I can hold it. I can give you some up front. I can hold the debt for a little bit. I can agree to hold it. Notice I said agree. And what we can do, we can record a reverse note with the county to secure debt against me, so you can ensure that, I'm going to pay. That sounds a lot sexier than being like, hey, well, can you just let me pay you in payments? Now I'm saying I'll agree to accept, record, right? And so it's kind of like just using different words to get them to understand that they're going to benefit from it, and they are. But what Q was talking about, which is very, very, you got to be very careful when you do this, is, and I'm doing one right now, where I'm going to create a note, and I got another property that's paid off already that I'm renting out, and once I get this deal set up, I'm going to go back to the owner that owns the note and be like, hey, I want to do something. I got a really good deal that can get you paid out a lot faster, and I can put a little bit more money up front and more money towards this deal that we have every single month. But to do that, I got to transfer our debt to another property that I have. Now, mind you, that property is already making money. It's already making money every single month. So that her loan will get paid from that property. But now what happens is, if she says yes, and they usually do because they want the money up front, I got that property free and clear. Now I can go sell it and do something with it. That's what you call walking the debt. Now I like to practice what I preach. So I want to show you something. Like, this is Q talked about Nathan Case, and the benefit, guys, of working with attorneys that know what they're doing and you have a good relationship with them is you always go back. So I always like to prove my cases. So you see this today. This was I emailed Nathan. I said, hey, I emailed him earlier, and he emailed me back. He said he's in court, right? That was today. I emailed him today on the 24th. I said, hey, I got this deal. I got one of my guys working on it. You can see right here, look, fraud, 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 fraud. The guy's in prison. I show you this because how did we find that deal? So how we found that deal is through tax delinquent again, property tax delinquent, and we wanted to find the dude, and we found that he's in prison. So right away, the guy's locked up. So we reached out to him, where he's locked up at. And there's systems now. You don't have to write a letter. You can actually send him an email. And then we got in touch with his people here. We got a power of attorney. We did investigation, and we find that he has a lot of people have been trying to take the property by fraudulent means. So that particular deal, we already got it locked up. We have all the work's been done, and that deal right there will probably net us about 30, close to 30. Now, the amount of time that I spent on that deal, like physical amount of time, if I had to put it into hours, maybe 5 hours. It's taken about 6-7 months, but only about 5 hours of work. An email here and there, a call here and there. What I'm trying to tell you is that sometimes, people focus on, I got to close a deal now, like tomorrow, next week. Sometimes these deals they take a long time. I do this other stuff. They're called overages. is where people get foreclosed on mortgage loans, and then there's money left over because maybe they had the property for 10 years, and so the lender will, the trustee will foreclose, and they'll collect more money than what was due. So what we do is we reach out to individuals who that's happened to, and we offer them a service, and that service is very similar to this, to say, hi, may I speak to Ruben? Hey, Ruben, how you doing? My name's Charles. I'm with Wholesale USA here in San Antonio. The reason we're calling you because we see, unfortunately, that your property got foreclosed here in Edinburgh about 2 months ago, and we believe that they wrongly foreclosed on you. You know, we're always fighting against the counties and the lenders and insurance companies, and we like to offer you a service. And that service is free of charge to you up front. What we're going to do is get permission from you to investigate the file. And if there's funds available, we will even put up all the money, the legal fees to grab those funds, and then we split that with you. How does that sound? Doesn't cost you anything. But we already know what the potential profit's going to be. So, for example, I'm doing one right now in the Valley, and the profit on that thing, the overage is over 120. So, most likely, it's going to, by the time they take out their fees and everything, will be about 90. So, when we close that deal, we've been at that deal for like 8 months. But how much work have I actually put into that deal? An email here and there, not much work, you know, talking to the people, not much work, maybe 2 hours. But that deal, we finally got the attorney to call us. They're going to sign, they're going to go ahead and sign and release the funds. And so we're going to pay 50% of that to the heirs. But imagine we're keeping 50%. So 50% of like 90 is 45. Now the guy who brought me the deal, I'm going to split with him 50%. So 45 divided in half again, that's what I make, that's what he makes. And all he did was find the deal. That's all he did. And he hadn't done any work. And I really haven't done that much work either. What I'm trying to tell you is that there's a lot of ways to get deals in real estate. You just have to do the work. Sometimes you got to do a lot of work. You mind if I talk to you about one more, a couple other examples, Quentin?
Bro, go ahead, dude. Go ahead. I
Well,
found the deal, by the way, guys.
yeah. So,
This
for
was it.
example,
That
yeah,
was that was the big deal. I was a few $1,000s off, but yeah, that's my LLC, y'all. It's one of my old ones, Wakanda.
kind of.
But that's it,
So,
dude. That's it.
so you know, these type of calls, guys, can go different ways. Like, let me share with you. I used to run a group myself. These type of calls can go motivational, and if that's what you want, that's cool. These type of calls can go into a lot of hype, you know, where people are just like, man, I got a Lambo. That's not my style. These type of calls can be very technical. Sometimes we do those type of calls, or they can be very where people are talking about the deals they've done, and they talk to you about them. And so whenever you're on these calls, you want social proof, or you want actual proof. That's why I showed you the emails in the HUD, because you can see like this is real stuff. It's not made up shit. I'll give you an example. I'll give you guys a nugget. So who here has heard of Del Rio, Texas? Nobody's going to Del Rio, Texas to fucking wholesale a fucking deal. That shit, nobody's gonna go there. But you know, we look for properties with problems, you know. And so we had a property here where it's 3 lots, 4 sisters, one half sister fucked all the other sisters out of their inheritance. And now those half sisters, you have to learn how to listen, hate her, and they just want out of that property. There's $30,000 owed on the property in taxes, and there's properties worth like 245, and then the CAD value is like 215 or something. Long story short, what I'm trying to get at is we're buying all their interest for like 1,500. It was 25. I reduced it to 1,500. I gave them all up $500 up front, so I own thetheir interest now. I own 75% of that property. I own 75% of that property. And I still didn't even pay them all out, because the reason I don't pay them all out, I might need them for something else. So I want to make sure that I'm still holding their money. And so we sent this lady a certified letter, letting her know that we're making her an offer for X amount of dollars, and we want her to sign over her interest, or we're going to sue. And 9 times out of 10, guys, they don't want to smoke. They don't got the money. They're like, okay, fuck it, let's go. And so they'll settle. And so hopefully she will settle. Or, you know, we offered her 3,000, and hopefully she'll say, cool. If she doesn't, then what I'm going to do is one of two things. I'm going to go either pay out those taxes and then sue her for a credit default. And then when I get the judgment, because she's not gonna be able to pay, I know she doesn't have the money, I'm gonna foreclose on that credit default. And now I'm gonna own the whole property. Or what I could do is I could sue for partition. The judge is gonna, hey, can you pay him off? She can't pay me off. So I'm gonna petition the court to allow me to sell. I'm gonna have the court run an appraisal. Most likely the appraisal will come in high, even though the property's fucked up. And then I'm gonna ask the judge to allow me to sell at 80% of what the value is. And 80% of the value, what I'm expecting the value is gonna come in, is gonna be about 190, 175. Now, if I list at 175 and somebody offers me 130, that's perfect. Why? Because she owes $30,000 in taxes. Now there's going to be $100,000 left. Now, who owns 75% of that property? I do. And so you see, guys, that's a whole different way of looking at doing real estate or wholesaling than just picking up, calling, trying to negotiate a 70% contract. If you look for problems, and you're going to find these type of problems, if you know what you're looking for, you can get some really, really good deals. So, had anybody ever heard of anything like that, what I just explained? No? That's what you call a partial interest acquisition or an advanced wholesaling transaction. Does anybody have any questions or anything?
Bro, I
No?
think that you're blowing everyone's mind, like truthfully. This is so cool. So, like, basically, Charles, what you're saying, and if you don't mind, I'll let people unmute themselves here in a minute because I do want to make sure that we get all of our stuff out of the way before we start answering questions. I have one that I feel that's powerful. If you're purchasing the interest of heirs and you own the majority of interest and you have one heir that isn't cooperating, what is your legal standpoint in that? Does that make
Well,
you family now that you've purchased their
yeah.
interest?
So I'll give you an example. Who here has heard of Bishop, Texas? Huh? It's a little town going south of Corpus and going towards the valley of Texas that if you blink, you passed it. It's that fast. Okay, so I'll give you an example. One of my guys that's out there hunting, he found a deal where a lady. I think I might have talked about this one the other day. It's been going on for a few months now, but we're making headway. So young lady got married to an older guy. He passed away. She's already with some other dude. She don't give a damn. He had 3 kids. They're fucking in Australia and England. They don't give a damn. She's willing to sell her interest for $2,500. They owe 52 in taxes. Property's worth like 350. Been abandoned for 3 years. I don't want to go pay those taxes. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and pay her the 25, and for her son 1,500. But I'm gonna pay them just a little bit because I want to be able to hold them, and I'm gonna tell her I'll pay the difference when I clear title. Now, at that point, because her son owns like a little percentage of the 50% of the other 3 kids, right? So I'm gonna own like 67% of the property. Well, how do I get the difference? Well, there's different options, guys. I'm gonna blow your mind right here. So pay attention. One, I can go pay those taxes, which I don't want to, not because it's in Bishop. If it was San Antonio, I'd do it. I'll pay those taxes and then sue the other ones for not paying their portion of the taxes. I'll get a judgment. I'll foreclose on it. Boom. I own the property. Now it takes money to do that and skills. Or I could partition. I could sue for partition. I could sue for partition, and that shit takes longer. And I don't want to do it in Bishop, Texas, right? If it was San Antonio, I do it all day long. Let's sue them, and they can't pay. The judge can allow me to sell the property. I could pay a percentage of the taxes, right, and then sue them for that percentage. But the problem with that is that once they understand what I'm doing, they can go pay the other half of the taxes, and then we're in what you call a standoff. So you have to be real careful. You don't let the other side understand what you're doing because you either pay taxes or you don't. So at the end of the day, I still have interest in the property. Now, some people talk about adverse possession. I could do adverse possession, but that's 10 years. Who the fuck wants to wait for 10 years? Now, if the person's dead or no owners can be found at all, nobody can be found, you could do a notice That's another way to get the property, to do a notice. On that particular property in Bishop, Texas, what we're going to do is we're going to purchase the property, or rather her position the property. So we're going to own position the property. And then what we're going to do is I have an investor because I don't want to do it. I'm going to give up a percentage. Okay, I'm going to give up a percentage of the equity, have him pay about 25 of that, right? So I'll give up a percentage of the money. And then I'm going to request, ready? The county to accelerate the foreclosure. I'm going to go to the county and say foreclose. Fuck it, go. And I know they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And then most likely they're going to sell that property for about 200. Okay? For about 200. Now, if I own, so let's do the math here. So if what is a quarter of 50%? So a quarter of 50%, that is 12.5. So that means I own 62.5% of that deal. So if they sell for 200, that's what we're estimating, and we minus, let's say 55, right? That's 145,000. If I own times 62.5%, so what I'm going to get back from the county, ready? Because I'm going to ask them to accelerate the loan. Fuck it. I'm part owner, foreclose. Okay. I already know what they're going to sell for. I have a good idea because I looked at their patterns of what they sell. Now I'm telling them to foreclose on me, motherfucker. But after the fact, I'm going to go collect the excessive funds. And 62.5% of that shit is mine. That's $90,625, right? That's mine. Now I owe 25 at 15%. So if you subtract 25,000 for that 90,625 plus an extra 15% of what I borrowed the money at, the rest is mine. And then what I do with that, I give 50% to my guy, or in this case 40. I keep the difference. You see what I just did, guys? I went and had the county foreclose on me. That's what I'm going to do on that deal. Foreclose on me, man. Because I'm going to go after the excessive funds. I already know what percentage I have of the deal. I already know most likely what they're going to sell for. Now that is a whole other ballgame on how to do these real estate deals. You guys like that? Anybody gonna smile or everybody gonna not smile?
Come on, man. Bro, I never get tired of listening to you talk about real estate, bro. Like, honestly, it's an art form how you structure things. Like, this is why mentorship and guidance is so important, y'all. Like, I know a lot. I've been doing curative title, I've been doing creative style real estate for a while, but this is experience at this point. Like, you to get to this level, to do these things requires experience, man. So, bro, like, real quick, dude, and I definitely want to answer some questions, but we have some things that I want to do because we're already up in the time. We have something that nobody's done in the industry, only Charles and his team, and they invite everybody to this event. And it's something that happens every year, right? Practically, but it's once, if that. And so, man, this is huge, y'all. This is huge. For all of my people that are in here, Charles, I want you to go ahead and let them know what's happening next month, because everybody here is probably eager to learn more. And I just want to give you guys something to be in this call and to show y'all what we're doing.
So guys, next month we are doing Wholesaling Live. This will be the third installment of Wholesaling Live. It is a live event. As you can see, all the videos, all these people right here. Can I, you know what? Let me just, can I play the video? Do you mind?
Go ahead, bro.
Okay. Let me play the video. Give me a second. Wrong one. That was my crazy dashboard, guys. All right, can y'all see it?
I can see it.
Here it goes, guys. Ready?
Pay attention, y'all.
Attention. Wholesaling Live 2025 is on. This isn't a seminar. This is a full-blown real estate war zone. October 17th and 18th, Wholesaling Live is back. And this year, live wholesaling meets live dispoing. You're going to experience real deals, real money, real live action. At Wholesaling Live, you're not coming to sit and take notes. No other event brings wholesaling and investing to life. You're going to meet elite investors, experience powerful systems, and this year, discover how AI is changing wholesaling and real estate forever. Get your ticket now. Get in the game. Level up or get left behind. Grab your spot now. Let's get it.
So, guys, that's going on this coming month, Wholesale Live. We have some of the top speakers who are going to come into this event. Our objective is to do $1 million and assigned contracts. That means the people, guys, let me share something with you. Most events, people come and just listen to people talk. And those are good events. You got to learn from somebody. You should learn from people that are doing deals. This event is about you. Like, you don't come to this event to just sit down. You're going to come here to get down. We're going to make some money. People are, we have sponsors coming. They're going to pour a lot of leads, a lot of PPC leads into the bullpen. The whole event center, everybody's working, and we got Q's going to be there. We got a lot of people going to be helping you close deals. And if you get a deal, you're going to know you got a deal coming to you. You're going to make a massive percentage off that deal. We have a title company ready to go. We have a dispo. We have investor base there ready to go. We're going to be dispoing live. So if you guys have never been to an event like this event's a very interactive event. I'll come back to this in a second. We got Pace Morby coming in. We have all these big dogs from Kong, Logan Fulmer, Eric Klein. Zach Guillen never does events. He's going to be coming. We have some of the best PPC companies coming from iSpeed to Lead, Yuli. We have an AI company coming. We have investor base, motivated sellers, PropStream. Your boy Q's gonna be there. Travis. All these guys are massive dispo kings. They're all gonna be here at Wholesale Live, guys. We had a competition the last 2 times. RJ Bates and Brent Franklin, which is, this guy does oil. This guy's drilling oil deals all over the world, guys, making money in oil. But he laid his ground. He started out in wholesaling, and he owns a massive company where they're drilling oil all over the world. And he came to Wholesale Live just to beat this guy right here. And he did. He did. He beat him, and it was crazy. But what I wanted to show you here is that at Wholesale Live, let me take a few seconds to share something with you. I didn't build this, guys. But about in January 2024, my company split, and I got an opportunity. I didn't know, check this out. 7 years earlier, I had helped a family keep their home. The lady had kids. Her 17-year-old son grew up to be one of the top AI engineers in the nation, if not the world. And his peers were looking to build something. And so they wanted to build an LLM for something. Somebody had already done it in 2022 for the legal field. It's called Harvey AI, and it took off massive. They wanted to do it in real estate, and they went around to many folks to ask them to put the investment up, and everybody said no. And they came to me. We had a lot of people were looking at us at the time because of Wholesale Live, and I said yes, let's go. And of course, I was scared. But I invested the money in a lot of my content that started out, and today they built a system called Ari, and Ari is going to be the first custom built LLM for real estate. Now, what is an LLM? It's a large language model like ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek. Those are billion-dollar companies, guys. These guys built this for real estate only. It's very specific to real estate, but the thing that sets it apart, guys, the thing that sets it apart, okay, is that it will do stuff that ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek, Gemini will never do. And it's not that they can't do it. They can do it, but they just never will. And that's get you data and get you buyers. Those things are very unique to Ari, and it's going to be released at Wholesale Live. And you guys, if you guys come, you're going to be
Introducing the world's first real estate GPT,
estimated.
Ari, built by REI Labs. RE will soon shock the entire real estate education industry. It isn't some workflow or prompt, it's a custom AI system built to level the real estate game for everyone. No other AI can pull live leads, comp properties, analyze deals, and find buyers on demand. This is real estate reimagined. Subscribe now. Early pricing ends soon.
Would you guys like to see it in action? Would you like to see what Ari can do in action? All right, let me show it to you. This is just one thing it can do, guys. Imagine now imagine this, guys. You got a deal, you need a buyer. There are all these platforms, right? Calling. What if you could just ask, let me have a list of buyers? What if you could just ask for deals? Let me have a list of subject twos in Orlando. Let me have a list of fixer-uppers in Corpus Christi. Let me have a list of abandoned properties in Dallas. What if you could have that power? Well, let me show you real quick. This is Ari right here. And this is just one thing that it can do, guys. And if this is the only thing it can do for you, it's gonna blow your mind. You ready?
Sub-Zero. Scorpion. Round one, fight. Fight! Brutality.
So I show you this because if you guys decide to come to Wholesaling Live, that's what you're going to experience. It's not just the wholesaling that you're going to do live, the dispoing, all the people that are going to be there from the top heavy hitters are going to be there. It's not just an experience. We try to bring the best companies that are bringing the most advanced technology to the industry so that you can go home and do deals. So REI Labs will be releasing Ari at Wholesaling Live. There's no other event that they're releasing at. It's going to be at Wholesaling Live. And what I just showed you is just a small little sliver of what it can do. What did I show you? What was being shown there was, can I get buyers in San Antonio? Can I get buyers for a subject to in Houston? And it was showing you how fast on your phone you would be able to do that. And so that is new technology that's going to hit the market. It's going to start at Wholesaling Live. So guys, if you guys decide to come, you're going to have a massive experience. And so I know Q will come back here in a minute. I did, Q does have a QR code, but anybody who wants to come, if you guys will drop, a W in here, we're going to give you guys a massive discount code. Why? Because Quentin has not only agreed to do some stuff at Wholesaling Live that's going to cost him some money.
Yep.
And he didn't ask for a discount. He didn't ask for an affiliate. He just said, can you guys give my people a discount? And so the tickets are expensive, guys. The tickets are expensive.
I got to reiterate on this, Charles. Guys, I'm sponsoring the majority of your ticket purchase. Just
Yes.
FYI. So this discount thing that he's talking about is my money going into Charles to get you to his event. Okay.
Yes.
Because there's no discounts for this. This sells out every year. Every year. I've never been to a Wholesaling Live that didn't have more than 1,000 people in it. And I've been going over the last few years. So this is intense. Just want to make sure y'all know I'm putting my money to get you there. Okay. Go ahead, bro.
So just you'll know, guys, these are the tickets by next month. They'll go to $397, $697, and $997. So Quentin here has sponsored portions of the event. And so anybody that wants to go can get a general ticket tonight for $75. They'll get you in both days. They'll get you into the mixers. They'll put you around all the players that are going to be there. They'll get you data. Guys, there's going to be a massive amount of data being shared with you. What does that mean? That means that you're going to be able to get on the phone immediately and start calling people and possibly get a contract. And you're going to make a vast majority of that contract. I think we're up to maybe 50 to 60, maybe even 70%. So if you get a deal hypothetically that makes 30,000, you're going to go on that contract, and you got money coming to you once that contract closes. And the last two events we did, each event did over $1 million, so people got paid, from those contracts. And the beautiful thing about it is people took so many leads home that they were closing deals way after the fact, way after Wholesaling Live. So if you guys are interested in coming to Wholesaling Live, we will put we'll give Quentin a very, very special code. You can only use it once. And unfortunately, guys, it's only good, I don't know, Quentin, for tonight until tomorrow. What?
Just tonight, bro. Just tonight. I just really want to see people take action. You know what I'm saying? Unless you guys are saying I get paid tomorrow. Who here is getting paid tomorrow? Because if that's the case, then we can keep this up until tomorrow. But I just know that there are a lot of people that are here. It's $75 to get here. Guys, I paid $200 per ticket. I bought about 20 of them. So I just want you guys to really take this seriously. This is my way of giving back to you guys. Y'all have been pouring into my community. Obviously, y'all know y'all pay to get mentorship coaching by me. I love it. I appreciate it. Y'all help me pay all my damn bills every single month. I love y'all to death. And I try as much as I can to be there for every single person. I know almost everybody in this group, and even those that I'm unable to, I try to get back to as soon as I can. So this is everything to me to do this for y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I just believe that there are 20 people in this freaking crowd that are willing to really take this seriously and come to the point where I'll even put my own money on it, that if you just spend $75 and you come to this event, you'll leave with everything that you need and that you need to know to close and fund your first deal within at least 90 days of attending. And guys, there's going to be so much resources. It's one thing to do this virtually, but bro, come on, man. Get in your car, fill that gas tank up, put in those days. It's here in San Antonio, Texas. Fly down here, drive down here. Dude, anything y'all got to do, man. I'll tell y'all, I was afraid to get on planes in 2019. I got booked to speak at my first national conference. I drove from San Antonio to Phoenix to be at that event, to speak on that stage, and to meet all of these people
I remember
who had
Momentum.
said, yeah, yeah. And
So
it was
first of all, hold on. That was at the time the biggest event in the nation.
Yep.
And yeah, guy Quentin, I put it in there. Q75, guys. Q75 will get you a $75 ticket into Wholesaling Live. And it's a 2-day event. But you got to come the day before because there's gonna be a mixer at a massive badass place here in town. So you get to go to the mixer. We're gonna be giving out tickets for drinks. You get to Wholesaling Live. It's from the morning to the evening. It's gonna be packed. And then it's gonna be on Saturday night. We're gonna have a big party at Sky Bar here in downtown San Antonio. You get to get into that. So, and you're gonna have a lot of leads. So you need to get down to Wholesaling Live, guys. It's Quentin. It's 20 tickets. Quentin put money towards. So if you guys don't take advantage of it, he paid $200 something $200 plus. He paid like $225 per ticket. $222. He paid $222 per ticket. So think about it, guys. That's 20 tickets times $220. He doesn't get it back. So if you guys don't take advantage of it,
I really appreciate everybody here, man. Honestly, it means a lot that y'all have supported me throughout the years. I've had a rough patch over the last few years just in life. And, now having brought a daughter into the world, having gotten married, and just feeling so happy with where I'm at, I just wanted to do something to give back to you guys for supporting me through what I feel was one of the darkest times in my career. And now things are just so smooth sailing. I'm closing real estate deals left and right. I got multiple students with multiple testimonies. A lot of you guys that are doing amazing things in the community, and some of y'all are taking off from the challenge calls. And dude, I get messages from a lot of you that are in this crowd all of the time that I've also led you to Jesus. And that, my friends, is the most valuable thing that I do in my life, is steward people to the gospels and to know more of Jesus. I speak love and blessings in the name of Jesus over every single person in this call. And I've had members get baptized by being inside of the mentorship. I get that we're talking about making money. I get that we're talking about all these other things, but I tell you what, man, kingdom principles is what builds a business and keeps a business going beyond your lifetime. You get what I'm saying? Because none of this stuff matters until we get to the pearly gates and God asks us if we used everything that he gave us. You get what I'm saying? And so, man, like that, to me, that's a valuable thing. So this is my way of giving back to everybody here. I love y'all. I want to see you guys in person. I want to be the first to give you a hug when you come in, and to just really work alongside you. We always work virtual. I see you guys all the time virtual. It would just mean so much to me to shake some of y'all's hands that have been in my community that haven't even gotten a chance to meet me in person, to see that the vibe doesn't change, and to be in an environment where not only are you guys going to be learning from people, I'm going to be in the crowd with you. I'm going to be helping you close deals. Me and some of my friends that I've worked with for years are all coming to this place to help you close. Bro, you're getting mentorship and guidance next to you, not just behind a screen. And so, man, how do I say that? My request from you guys, and what I would love for y'all, is to just take a leap of faith. I'm telling you guys, man, God can do a whole lot with just a little bit. If y'all can just take a leap of faith and get your butts over here to San Antonio to learn about how to flip some damn real estate and how to do it with a mentor that has been doing it for years next to you, that would make me the happiest man in the world. Okay. So I just got to land the plane with that, bro. This has just been so amazing, y'all.
Well, I wanna share a couple things before we leave. Quentin was the first guy who brought like a real event to San Antonio, believe it or not. I mean, there's been national events that have come here, but he really was the first one to put on for San Antonio. I don't know if you guys know that. And my ex-partner and I took off, really um Quentin gave us the first opportunity to go on stage. So I remember that it was ground zero. It was very, very awesome event. And so you guys are in good hands. I want to do something special for Jonathan if he's still here, because I just read here that Jonathan bought 2 elite tickets. So I'm like, wow. So
Yeah.
you bought 2 elite tickets, bro. What I want to do for you, man, is if you can message me, if you have, a wife or somebody that you want to bring, um, you know, I'll get you a ticket for them. I don't know who you're bringing, but you brought 2 tickets. But if you got somebody you want to bring, I'll get you a ticket. Um, you can have a VIP ticket, one VIP ticket, or I'll get you 4 general tickets, and that's just my way of showing my appreciation to you. Like, hey, you know what? Fuck, so I'll get you 4 general tickets at no cost, right? Well, Quentin did put some money up if you guys don't get those 20 tickets. But I'll get you 4 general tickets, and then, or you can take a VIP ticket, one. So if you want to message me, Jonathan, if you need that, I like to do that for you because I like to reward people who take action. And 2 elite tickets, that's not cheap. So that's not cheap, man. That tells me that you really bought it. And so if you want to message me, I'm on IG. I'll put my IG in here. It's gonna be official Unc 360. All right.
Cool, man. I will definitely reach out, and I appreciate it so much. Can't wait, and it's gonna be an honor to be in the room with all you guys. So can't wait. Appreciate it though.
Thank you, guys, and I hope you guys will take advantage of Quentin's good heart and get yourself down to Wholesaling Live. What I would suggest to some of you guys is get a big Airbnb together, schedule a mastermind. That's what a lot of people are doing. They're just coming together, getting an Airbnb, and they're masterminding, and they're fucking having a good time, and it just becomes a massive thing, guys. So, with that said, Quentin, anything else?
Man, we had a group of kids. They were literal kids. They were fresh out of college. They
Mhm.
dropped out altogether. It was 4 of them. Man, his name's Jonathan Sakamel. And let me tell you what, they came to my event, Growth, fresh out of college, and they carpooled. They all just spent their money to get to the event. And bro, it's crazy, but they found someone there, and they all decided to just stay in the same hotel in the same room, bro. Because I mean, what else is everybody doing? Why not make friends? So don't be afraid if you're coming over here spending your last dollar to come through. San Antonio, bro, we roll tight. All right. So like even if all you got is for the ticket, get over here for the gas. You know, got a ticket, got the gas, get over here. We'll figure all that stuff out, bro. People in San Antonio, man, we stay close. So like there's rooms here. You know what I'm saying? You'll find a place. Hell, dude, I'll even do like a mastermind before the event for anybody who wants to fly in. I'll do a mastermind in my office right next to where the event's going to be happening. Well, I don't know if it's right next to, but we can do a mastermind in my office. I'll bring everybody in, dude. It's a 24-hour office. To hell, I'll open up the door and let all you guys in. Y'all can sleep on the couch or something. I don't mind. You know what I mean? Like all I'm saying is that guys
You
get
know,
we'll figure it out. We can all band together. We can get to the bottom of how we're gonna sleep, where we're gonna all that. Dude, I don't care. There's
you
showers,
know,
there's places everywhere, there's gyms everywhere. It's like you figure it out when you get here, dude. Where there's a
you know,
will, there's a way.
Quentin, it's funny you say that because I'm not gonna put this guy on blast, so don't ask me who it is. But there's a guy, I kind of thought he was a weirdo, For a long time, he was just always, but I always answer people's questions. What I mean by a weirdo is just always very persistent, and doing weird shit. Like he would go to events and stay in the hallways of hotels. It was crazy. And we were at an event in Houston years ago, and they came to the event. They were talking, Ricardo, right?
Yes.
Ricardo, and they were like, Ricardo, who the fuck is this guy? They were looking for him. It was at the Galleria, guys, at the Galleria in Houston. And this guy, they had seen him on the cameras. He was sleeping in the little cubby holes in the hallways of the hotel. But he was there sneaking into the event. And I felt really bad for him, man, because I saw that he really wanted it, right? And so they were going to kick him out. And we ended up just paying for the ticket and getting him a hotel. And it was like, anyway, he's not doing real estate. He's not doing real estate. He's doing insurance. But today, that guy runs a team here in San Antonio of insurance agents and driving a brand new Corvette, living the life, doing awesome. And when I talk to him now, he's not weird to me now. But what I'm trying to get at is, here is this guy sneaking into events, not knowing where he's going to sleep. And today, here in San Antonio, he runs a team, 34 people. All they do is insurance, and he's doing very, very well. Well, why am I telling you this? Because sometimes you got to put yourself in the room. Sometimes you got to get uncomfortable and just get around people with the same mindset as you. If you want a reason to believe, then you have to go do it. If you don't want a reason to believe, then stay home and watch Netflix, make excuses. I couldn't get there. I didn't know how to do it. If you want a reason to believe, then put yourself in the middle of your own dream and make it happen. I hope to see you guys there. Q, thank you so much.
But let's at least show the photo of the homie real quick, because that car is clean. All right. We ain't got to say the name, but just so y'all know, there's real proof behind.
Dude, what the fuck, dude? I didn't want to show him. Move that shit, dude.
Okay.
What I'm trying to tell you is this, man. I can't believe he did that. I'm really proud of that guy. I'm really proud of that guy. What I'm trying to tell you is this. Somebody once told me this about a female. A female will break all the rules to be with the man that she wants and make all the excuses not to be with the one she doesn't. Why do I say that? Because it goes for men too. If you guys want the dream, you have to put yourself in the middle of the dream. You have to get in there. There's no excuse that you can think of unless you're in jail or some shit. Because if you want to be there, you'll be there. And I hope to see you guys there. I promise you, if you've been failing at doing deals, if you don't think this is real, I promise you, you're going to see real. You're going to believe, you're going to be like, fuck, if this fucking guy next to me can do it, I can do it. And I promise you guys, it's not that hard to make $15,000, $20,000 a month. That right there alone will change your entire life, because most people are not even making that here in the United States. With that said, guys, I hope to see you there. Quentin, the code is Q75. Please, guys, whatever you do, Do not share that online. It's only good for one person at a time. I think somebody said they wanted 3 tickets. Brother, if you don't have 3 emails, or if you want to just do 3 all at one time, get with Q. We'll figure it out. We'll work it out for you. But all you gotta use it is 3. Everybody use it independently. It's just 20. Q, if you need more, let me know. With that said, guys,
Guys,
we'll
I gotta
see you
land the
later.
plane. Love y'all so much, man. I'll see y'all on the next call. Let's get it.